Oh my God. This is the tallest I've ever been on a building.
Malaysia.
Kuala Lumpur.
I am on the roof of the second tallest building in the world. This is Merdeka 118, the new tallest building in Kuala Lumpur and a new national symbol of Malaysia. It's an incredible feat of engineering. But there's one very important yet often overlooked feature of buildings like this that makes them viable, and that is what I'm here to discover.
Now, when you think about tall cities, places like New York, Dubai and Hong Kong will all jump to mind. But Kuala Lumpur is up there with the best of them.
Malaysia ranks 4th in the world for the number of skyscrapers it has, and 148 of them are right here in Kuala Lumpur. There's the Kuala Lumpur Tower, the amazing Exchange 106, centrepiece of the new Tun Razak Exchange, and of course the iconic Petronas Towers, which were the tallest buildings in the world between 1998 and 2004. But all of those feel like mere bungalows compared to Merdeka 118.
I've never journeyed to the top of a skyscraper this high before. And despite my slight fear of heights,
oh my God.
Getting the chance to explore this project has only deepened my love and respect for construction.
If we've got the shot, can I please come down now?
When the spire of Merdeka 118 was completed in 2022, it took its height up above 600 metres, making it officially one of only 4 megatall skyscrapers on the planet.
It's 680 metres high, 118 stories tall, and it'll house around 10,000 people. What does 10,000 people really feel like, I hear you ask? Well, to try and show you, I've come down here to Bukit Bintang, which is the beating heart of Kuala Lumpur. There's so much happening here. There's traffic, scooters, people everywhere. There's a monorail running across my head. Big buildings, big screens. It's bustling, it's chaotic. Now imagine all of this, taking it, putting it inside a small box, inside a very tall building.
And that brings us right up to the age-old problem with skyscrapers. You see, tall buildings are built around a structural core, which, as well as keeping the whole thing standing, provide a great vertical access route up through a tower. Here you'll find the plumbing, power, other services, and crucially the elevator shafts. And you really can't overstate the importance of elevators to making our tall buildings viable. You're not going to want to go to level 118 if that means taking 118 flights of stairs.
Where are we?
It looks like we're in the teens.
Now, around the core is your usable floor area. That's where you put your hotels, offices, penthouses, or anything else you want in your building. The problem comes with building tall. The higher you go, the more floors you create, and the more people you have wanting to move up and down your structure. Putting in enough elevators to service them all means your core gets bigger and your usable floor area is reduced. And after a while, the business case just doesn't stack up. It's really not worth building any taller. So, for a very high building to make sense, engineers need to get clever and find ways to keep that core from getting too big.
Now, you could put the elevators on the outside of the building like this one. I'm currently moving at 8 meters a second, flying up the side of this skyscraper, and the city of Kuala Lumpur is falling away behind me. It's an incredible and slightly terrifying feature. But to really address mobility in a building this tall and this big, you need some serious tech.
I've come to meet Basil Carlo Stella.
Basil, hi.
He works for Coney, the elevator company that helped make this enormous building viable, and that invited us inside for a closer look.
I mean, it's a massive building. It sort of dwarfs everything around it. How does people flow work in a building like this? How do you get all the people that work and visit here in and out?
I mean, that's a very important question, because certainly when you look at people moving in this building, that becomes quite critical for the experience they have. And when you consider that there's 10,000 people in this building, it's quite important to work exactly how they're going to move.
Now, Coney installs elevators, escalators, and all kinds of systems that help energy-efficient people flow everywhere. Each day, their tech moves over 1 billion people across this planet, but the world's second tallest building forced them to take elevator engineering to new heights. Here, they create a system that effectively splits the building into 5 zones. Each zone is served by a shuttle elevator which shoots people up the building from the ground floor and into their zone at a speed of 10 meters a second. From there, a series of local elevators can take them on to the specific floor they want to reach. Say you work on level 94, lucky you. Each morning, you would take an express elevator directly to level 76 before changing into a local car that serves the individual floors in that zone. It means you get up to level 94 and those killer views well before your morning coffee gets cold. This approach means you can effectively stack more elevator shafts on top of each other within the building, preserving valuable floor space as you go up while maintaining a good experience for everyone inside. It's a tried and tested way of making mega-tall structures like this commercially viable, and Coney were brought in early in the design process to implement it, working with architects and engineers on how the core would be shaped. But at Merdeka 118, the push for super efficient people flow didn't stop there, because there's another very simple way to double up capacity.
What are double-deck elevators and how do they work?
Okay, from a simplistic level, a double-deck elevator is essentially, think of it as 2 elevators on top of each other, which are attached.
Once you've reached your local zone, an AI-enabled destination control system splits users into 2 groups. It sends passengers travelling to odd-number floors into the lower deck of the elevator, while those heading to even floors are sent to the upper deck. These double-deck elevators make up an incredible 37 of the 89 elevators used in Merdeka 118.
If you didn't have this system, you would need a lot more elevators. So all of a sudden, you can see that a lot of the revenue, let's say, for each square foot you lose becomes quite significant.
Because you need more shafts in that core.
Exactly.
So your core gets bigger, you get less floor space.
Exactly. There's 35% real estate savings. So in essence, more elevators, less real estate.
Now, as you might imagine, pulling a double-deck elevator full of people up the world's second tallest building takes some serious kit.
So where are we now?
So now we're in the machine room. These are our MX100s. These are the largest machines that we have in our range, and they're designed for these buildings of this magnitude. Essentially, each machine is 7 tonne, and it is sitting above the shaft of each double-deck elevator. So when you consider what these need to do in terms of the work, fully loaded double-deck elevator is going to be around 8 tonnes. And in addition to that, you've got the weight of the cables and the ropes, and it needs to do that at 10 metres per second. And they happen to be the fastest elevators in the whole of Malaysia.
I mean, when you see them, you can't help but be struck by how huge they are and how much they weigh. I've got to ask, how did you get them up here? It's not someone carrying up the stairs. Okay.
That's a very good question, and clearly the elevators aren't in place to put them in either.
No.
So the important thing is, because of their size, we need to coordinate very closely with the main contractor, because these machines need to be brought up to this level before this level is closed off. Otherwise, you won't get them in here without pulling them completely apart. So we use the tower crane for that, and essentially it's dropped off before this floor is completed.
So these huge 7-tonne machines, I can see the lifting rings on top of them. The tower crane from the top of the building picks them up, lifts them above the streets of Kuala Lumpur and into here. And that's happening all the way up the building.
All the way up, exactly.
That's just one of the extreme feats that construction teams faced when building this far into the sky. The remarkable height of Merdeka 118 meant that this construction site sometimes found itself above the clouds. Just getting about such a massive project before its fast elevators are installed can present a serious challenge. Normally, during construction, people and materials are brought up and down by slower external elevators called construction hoists. But there's fertile ground for efficiency here too. As a skyscraper rises, Coney's jump lifts can be fitted inside the lower parts of completed elevator shafts in the main core. It means construction teams and their materials can move around faster, saving time and money. 4 jump lifts were used on Merdeka 118 and helped ferry 4,000 workers around what was one of the world's largest vertical construction sites.
The structure completed in 2023, and they're now fitting out the building interior. And when you're up here, you can't help but be blown away by the scale of the engineering. You know, I'm currently standing 116 stories above the surface of the Earth. It's an epic feat of construction. But you're also hit by the question of why. Why build something this high? Why build up into the clouds? And the answer is an interesting one. For decades, Kuala Lumpur has looked to the skies to try and create a sense of identity. But even with that in mind, the story of Merdeka 118 is one that stands head and shoulders above the rest.
To really understand that story, I met with Tengku Dato Abdulaziz. He's the CEO of P&B Merdeka Ventures, the owner and builder of the tower.
So what does Merdeka 118 represent for Malaysia?
To us, Merdeka 118 Tower represents a new iconic landmark for the city of Kuala Lumpur. And one interesting design feature, if you look at the silhouette of the building, we have a spire at the top of the tower, and that represents the outstretched hand of the first Prime Minister when he said Merdeka. And Merdeka means independence.
Many people will have known Kuala Lumpur for the Petronas Towers. They used to be the world's tallest building. Now Merdeka 118 has come along. What do landmark buildings like this mean for the city's identity?
I think it would give the city some kind of meaning, in the sense that if you look at all over the world, you have Eiffel Tower, for example. It is really associated with Paris, and Burj Khalifa with Dubai. Yeah, and KL, of course, we have had Petronas Twin Towers for a long time. And so when Merdeka 118 comes into the picture, I think it gives back our global identity.
This city has an incredible architectural heritage. You can find ancient temples sitting right next door to ultra-modern skyscrapers, but those two are rarely at odds. It makes perfect sense that a building, a skyscraper no less, is what was chosen to help symbolise where Malaysia is going. Merdeka 118 takes a huge moment in this country's history and uses it to create a powerful, multifaceted and modern vision for the future. If this project doesn't show the awesome power of construction and what its amazing teams are capable of, then I don't know what does. This epic video was sponsored by Kony. You can learn more about how its elevator systems made Merdeka 118 possible and how it's helping to shape the future of cities at the link below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, from the channel that takes you onto the roofs of some of the world's tallest buildings,
This is so cool. Unreal.
hit that subscribe button.